Mimi and Prime Shearman. Let's ride.
CoffeeZilla. I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While you're
I immediately already hate that start. CoffeeZilla's entire brand is all about exposing scams in the space. You yourself commended him for his work ethic and his, like, actual great content. And you have immediately wiped your ass with that phony statement. What an awful start. We are 7 seconds into this and it's already a terrible start. You've already exposed yourself for one lie already. You called yourself a fan and how Steven always gets it right. Until now. And now all of a sudden it's all about views because of your name. Yucky. Jesus, that was quick.
for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee,
Ooh,
you took a
like
shot
what?
at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm gonna be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see,
Interesting. Can I ask for some proof on this claim about being impartial? Because he gets, like, the whole story even from the people he's exposing. He directly talked to, like, Amio Talio for Paradox Metaverse and stuff. I am curious which ones he's referring to. That's a bold statement. Do you have anything to back that up, Logan? Is that in here somewhere?
from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see, CoffeeZilla tried to work with law enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative. He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance. But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught.
Oh, that's such a big claim.
Coffee, you interviewed the developer who stole the game code, fled to Switzerland, and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for
Sounds like a good member of the Crypto Zoo
obstructing the
team.
legal process. I can see why you kept him anonymous.
Who we'll be calling Z here.
I guess among many things, it doesn't surprise me that he lied about having 30 engineers and a $50,000 a week burn rate.
On my end, I have 30 engineers. I'm burning $50,000 a week.
Which, side note, is how this delusionist landed on the $1 million code ransom, but it turns out he only had 3 engineers. Wouldn't someone with journalistic integrity know their credible source had not only an agenda, but a fondness for orange jumpsuits?
Why is he on your team? In fact, him omitting that detail makes you look a little more competent. Now that I know you hired a fucking criminal to work on the project, I have even less faith in you to make good choices. This doesn't discredit anything. At all, actually. This just makes you look worse. But, I mean, alright, I guess. Okay.
Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on? Because even if you're lying to yourself, Steven, you still have to believe it. And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual?
That
like
is what I was
Zach
thinking.
Kelling? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and
Hey, who'd you learn that from, Logan? Which source did you learn that information from? Surely it wasn't Steven, since you're talking about how untruthful and how often speculative and wrong it is, so surely you didn't learn that information from Steven, right, Logan?
now me. And surely you knew Emilio, the gentleman who supposedly let his child invest in a cryptocurrency, was allegedly responsible for 2 rug pulls before you interviewed him. So either you missed that or you knew it and failed to let the public know. Why? Because it was a clear sign that he was also untrustworthy. You seemed pretty excited when the guy told you that he couldn't hatch the eggs.
Wait, you can't even hatch?
No, I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
You're kidding! You can't hatch?
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
You can't hatch?
Yeah, 1 second of research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
And as you pointed out in your fine print, cross-hatching was available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
And by the way, Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
And surely is
So what? So the project sucks. So it's nothing new like you proposed. It is just, again, JPEG on JPEG, and that's it. It's not a game. You're right, NFTs are all worthless pictures, but you were proposing a game. In fact, your friend was like, oh, you're not even talking about this like a project. This is like a game. And your exact words was, it's a game. It's a really, really fun game. But now you're just here saying it's just pictures, which is the point everyone was making. It's not a game. It's more just NFT JPEGs that are just stock images. You're contradicting your own sales pitch. Thanks to the resub, Chronic, Lefty, Luna, and Stoned. So I don't know about this guy. This guy could very well be super untrustworthy. I'll take Logan's word for it here. These were interviews with alleged victims of the rug pull. Now, even if this guy, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here, even if this guy is a very shady character, he could have still been scammed. It's not mutually exclusive, because he's not the only one. So among the thousands upon thousands of people you scammed, one of them happens to be a douchebag scammer as well. That doesn't discredit the whole point, though. You're wrong here about what? This guy being shady? Why do you keep saying no? Are you saying no to me or him? What am I wrong about? I'm not even saying anything objectively wrong. I'm saying even if this guy is shady, there were thousands upon thousands of victims. So it doesn't mean like the whole thing wasn't a scam and there weren't real victims. What are you saying? I don't understand. There was like 12 other people he interviewed as well, but even the non-interviewed people, there were tons of victims. Coffee used him as a spokesperson. No, he had like 12 other people there, and he just had his testimonial as part of it. I mean, you are in fact wrong, but go on. Wrong about what? There being victims? Like, that is... What is happening? Is this Logan Paul's PR team? There are victims. And all I'm saying is if this guy is a shady douchebag scammer, then this scammer also got scammed as well as the normal people. Like, that is legitimately, factually accurate. Now, as for the egg hatching, I guess I couldn't say for sure. But didn't... I'm going off memory. Wasn't there a post on the Discord about the egg hatching not working at launch and then working on the fix for it? So maybe that guy was just talking about like in the beginning and then maybe eventually a fix.
Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
No, it's just a picture.
And surely a
He's
real
using
internet
Tier 1
detective
City,
would not
Tier 1
break
Suit.
criminal and civil
You're so
laws
cool.
in trying to get information, right? So why have you allowed the illegal recording of Jeff's phone call without his permission? And then more like an internet criminal, post it online.
And it was interesting. It was like, this is wild.
Now, although you didn't verify any backgrounds, substantiate any evidence, took multiple criminals' words as truth, and broke
The
laws,
criminals are
you
your
still published the
project
defamation.
leads.
However, unlike you, the blockchain doesn't lie. So let's highlight some things that you did point out. Crypto King Jake stole $6 million. True or not, we had already removed him from the team when we realized he was a bad actor and his motives were purely financial. Conman Eddie, lead developer, stole $1.7 million. True or not, when we learned he was a bad actor as well, he was immediately removed from the team. While myself and Jeff sold nothing and made nothing as verified through investigation and the blockchain.
Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither did Logan Paul.
I repeat, Jeff and I made no money and will never make any money on Crypto Zoo. In fact, we only lost money trying to pick up the pieces. As has been the case with dozens of crypto and NFT
So,
projects,
the
space
confirmed
is
CoffeeZilla's
unfortunately
statement.
ripe for bad actors to infiltrate projects that start with even the best
Okay.
intentions. Jake the Snake is no longer affiliated with Crypto Zoo, and we hope the money he reappropriated was worth ruining his reputation. Conman Eddie is being investigated by a higher authority that I cannot speak on. As you can imagine, I was not cleared from legal to discuss much of this this, including the legal process being undertaken and the criminal investigations going on during the fallout, but I do appreciate you calling out that rats under my nose stole the game code, millions of dollars, and left Jeff and I abandoned with no team and knives in our back. But even after 12 months of work, you've still managed to overlook one crucial piece of information. See, even though I've said it's coming so many times, you've assumed that CryptoZoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends? I got everything stolen from me in our community, stopped promoting publicly as soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues.
Well, you also didn't talk in the Discord for a year. You talked 2 times.
A defamatory hit piece, fully knowing I was innocent, just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have.
Oh, he's throwing it down. I guess to piggyback off that, why didn't you update the community on the project? Why didn't you talk to the community that brought all of this to light, who felt scammed for the last year and has lost tons and tons and tons of money on it? Why have you only ever sent 3 Discord messages, one of them right before posting this video? This is very easy to continue going back and forth with the finger pointing. If it's not a scam and you really are working on it, why the complete radio silence with your community? You can't talk about it when you're suing. What? He's suing CoffeeZilla now. He wasn't suing anyone with CryptoZoo. And even if he was, he can still say, hey, we're going through legal trouble, but we're still working on the game. We're not a scam. We're working on it. And what about the handmade asset, or the handmade art, which was proven to be stock photos? Is he going to address that? This is just too short to address all of the actual evidence that CoffeeZilla submitted. Maybe we still got 2 minutes. Maybe he gets to those. But he's focusing on the bigger things, and it looks like he is right on a couple of things. He confirms CoffeeZilla's thing about never selling. Apparently, one of the guys giving testimonials was a not trustworthy person. And then another guy talking about the eggs not hatching. I guess it did work eventually. So right now, that's everything we've got some more information on. Thanks in Tier 1 Justice and Tier 1 Cosmonaut. The Prime Jin, Evo, and Noted. And the resub. Dargison, Pizza Guy, and Cody.
Talked about this. If you had reached out to me, personally, not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly. The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my 3rd time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve, after the fact, was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things. And I also noticed you left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it. And honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations, and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, CoffeeZilla. I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as so I'm not going to come on any of your podcasts. If you want to come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Amen. Damn, that was big. 7 minutes of fury, but not a whole lot of evidence on specific claims, just more broader things. So you hired 2 criminals because you didn't do any amount of background research. Why is there faith in CryptoZoo? Why should there be going forward? How about here? It's coming. How? Have you replaced the 2 criminals? Finish the ending? Oh, is there more? I thought it was just going to be an outro to Prime or something. That's all it was. What do you mean? There was nothing else. But yeah, he did just he posted in the Discord for the first time in a year right before releasing that. So he has 3 messages in the Discord. One of them was yo, and then the other one was I'm drunk or I'm sober right now. So he hasn't really been keeping the community up to date with what's going on, which is why for a year now everyone's felt like they've been scammed. Here, CoffeeZilla posted. Let's see what his tweets are. W. Logan. For what, though? It was, like, I don't think it was a bad response. I would have liked if he actually tackled individual points that had substantial evidence, such as the handmade art claim being just blatantly false, as well as, like, the other people that gave testimonials, as well as maybe just apologizing for the lack of communication and for people feeling scammed if it's not actually a scam. There was plenty that he didn't do correctly there. But overall, it wasn't, like, awful. I was expecting a lot worse. 0 apologies, 0 direct addressing victims, and 0 accountability. Logan accuses me of not reaching out to him directly until December 24th, but doesn't mention I reached out over a year ago prior on Instagram. Not the optimal platform to get a response. But I also don't know how you're supposed to get in touch with someone like Logan Paul either if it's not through his manager. There's no direct means of communication that I know of. It was only after a year of not getting a response that he began calling his manager for answers about CryptoZoo and got comically stupid responses. What I don't understand. What is this? Doesn't this? So now you're admitting like you just didn't see it, which I mean it's through Instagram. It's not optimal, but like it's not hard to believe that he wouldn't know how to get in contact directly with you if it's not through your manager. That's the whole point of a manager. He could have used Twitter. He's blocked on Twitter. Logan blocked him. Plus, Logan Paul's DMs are closed. I can't DM Logan Paul. No, I don't expect you to see every DM, which is why I reached out to your manager and explicitly said I was trying to reach you because I hadn't gotten a response. Oof. I mean, them's the receipts. I mean, yeah, Jeff read it. So, oof. Thanks to the resub Peter, Big Tooge, and Warrior. And Machinus, Phoenix, and Prime Doctor. And resub Fire Strike. Look at his YouTube description now. Contains no financial advice. Yeah, I saw that. I think that's just a boilerplate thing from his legal department. What kind of people is Logan Paul hiring? Literal criminals. He admits to it. He hired a fucking criminal. Well, 2 of them, actually. Well, 3 if you count Crypto King. 3 criminals. He had Eddie, the professional con man, who was just a blatant con man. I don't know how anyone on Logan Paul's team could hear this guy's story and think for a second he's real. He claimed to have won the fucking 2018 Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles and claimed to be like a hacker responsible for AOL hacking. And also a CIA operative. And also works closely with billionaires and shit. Like, it takes minutes to deduce that this guy's probably not the real deal. And then, I don't know why he ever teamed up with Jake the Crypto King. That guy is just an actual serial scammer. But I did appreciate that he put that little red X over Jake the Crypto King. There it is. Exit Prime, Zeriso, and the resub Tom, Sydney, and Daisy. And Tier 1, Rolo, and Prime Philip. I hope that he does talk more on Impulsive because, like I said, he didn't tackle specific claims with evidence such as all of the text messages and all of the actual statements from the group meetings that I believe Jake, the Crypto King, provided, where it showcased his, like, the whole team's motives behind the project as well as market manipulation and then everything falling apart behind the scenes. He doesn't tackle the handmade art assets being just blatantly false and provably wrong. Apparently, I didn't do the research myself, but from all the evidence, seems pretty cut and dry. He didn't tackle the actual specific claims on the project. He's going more big picture with it, but he focused in on some really small ones, I think. Again, this guy being a scammer and also getting scammed by CryptoZoo doesn't really prove a point other than this one guy is a piece of shit who also got scammed by my project. He lost money on it just like everyone else. You shouldn't have been in your video. And that's fair. Definitely not a good spokesperson giving testimonials if he's also not a good person. But it also doesn't discredit all of the true victims that are there. Coffee tweeted again. Oh, here. This is hardly important with all the insane lies on Logan Paul's new video, but did he really say he was going to sue me and also say he'd love to host me on Impulsive? That's kind of cute, though, I'm not going to lie. Easy Tier 1. Raquel and the resub Fernando and Prime Jobo. Yeah, I imagine this is once again going to be divisive. I saw some people in the chat saying Logan absolutely won this. And like I said, I don't think it's even terrible. I really don't. I would have expected this to be a lot worse from someone like Logan. But he doesn't prove his innocence here either. This is still a project that should have no backers. He hired 3 fucking criminals to run it with him. There's no amount of background checking, there's no communication, everyone did lose money on it. There is no reason that this should continue to exist. What he should do is apologize to everyone that lost money and just fucking refund their investments. Just eat shit on it and move on. If you want to continue to try and have a good reputation. Even if it wasn't designed to be a scam, which, again, all of those group chat messages as well as everything provided from Jake, I believe, seems like from the beginning it was designed to just be a money-making exploit. But even if that wasn't the point, everyone did lose money on it. It is still in a non-functional state overall for the majority of your users. Move on from it. Make them whole again. And be done with it. Yeah, most people are... I thought this was going to be more divisive. Now the comments are eating them alive. Thanks to the resub Infinite, Orpheus, and Floppy in the Prime Scythe. And the resub Ryan. Thanks to Prime Jake. Hassan's got some better takes on this? What? What other take is there? Like, I feel like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for interpretation here. It's a 7-minute video. He legitimately didn't address any, like, specific points or evidence. Again, he focused on broader things. Like, there's not, like, many takes to have here. I don't know what you're talking about. Exit Tier 1 Universe and Tier 1 Winter, the Prime Ziff, and resub Autumn, Teacup, Pokemaster, and Tier 1 Calibus. Do you think there is anything Logan can actually take legal action on? I don't think so. I don't see how he could, if I'm being honest. I don't really think there was anything necessarily defamatory about CoffeeZilla's video, and I don't think that's what he's going to go for. He's going to go for the unethical record. Like, I think it is like actually illegal to record a private phone call conversation. He's going to go for that angle, talking about an illegally recorded phone call with his manager. So if he is going for something legal, I think that's the angle he'll take because he does have a leg there. But as for defamatory, I don't think so, since it was part of just like an actual open investigation that was publicized. Plus, I don't really think you're going to win as a crypto company that actually did have tons and tons and tons of victims that lost money on it. Not in Texas. It's not illegal in Texas. Is that right? I didn't know that. Into Tier 1 Thunder and Tier 1 Boogaloo, the Prime, Josh, Brody, and Calgin in the resub. Dedidated and Luke. And CoffeeZilla's in Texas. Well, yeah, that's why that would be relevant to this. Thanks to resub Steve, Twinkie, Wee, Zerum, Gaming, and Wise in the resub Momo. And the resub Tinky. But yeah, I don't think it'd be for a defamation case. I don't think Logan would try that angle. That'd be a very hard one to win. No, it's probably not about winning. It's probably just about strong arming because Logan has significantly more money to hire a legal team and bully for a long, long time. Thanks to give sub mayonnaise and the resub philosophy, imprid, mishi, and fire. Not sure tree. I don't know what my favorite ramen is. CryptoZoo floor price 32 cent 30 Jesus, not 32 cents. 0.32 ETH after this. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised. Him releasing this video is going to drive up the price of CryptoZoo. It was already pumping because of CoffeeZilla's video and people just buying it thinking that it would make it big. And it's been working. But they absolutely deserve to lose their money again, for sure. If you put money into it, after all of this, you deserve to lose it. Thanks for resub, Seth Green. And the bits Bulma. Logan Paul made a new announcement on his Twitter. No, he didn't. Why do I keep getting lied to? I don't even know why I bother fucking checking. He's a Prime Salvic. And it's more dislikes than likes. Yeah, but he's obviously going to have people defending it as well. Because like I said, for a Logan Paul response, this isn't nearly as bad as I expected it to be. He's trying to play it off like it's not a scam, so he didn't apologize for anything, and he didn't address anything that had substantial, provable evidence from Coffee. So he kind of ducked around like the really hard to wiggle stuff. There's the Prime Mike in the resub, Haunt, Viking, and Spore. You're definitely biased though. I would have been super open to Logan Paul somehow figuring out like how to prove all of that wrong. It's just the evidence was like pretty tight. It wasn't just like circumstantial nonsense. It was like very thorough investigation, man. That's not bias. That's looking at evidence and seeing this is, not a lot of wiggle room, but I'm open to hearing. And I heard a couple of decent points. Granted, I don't think they're that strong overall, like CoffeeZilla omitted that one of my core developers is actually a criminal. Like, okay, he didn't say that. You are right. CoffeeZilla probably knew this guy was a criminal and didn't bother mentioning it. Though I don't think mentioning it makes you look better. In fact, I think it really makes you look worse. You hired him. You did no amount of information gathering or background checking. But you're right. CoffeeZilla didn't mention that. That was omitted. Or CoffeeZilla not doing his research enough on this guy being a scammer. Fair enough. That is correct. He is not someone that should have been in the testimonials as one of the victims, though, even though he probably did lose money on it. It's a scammer who got scammed. It doesn't discount the rest of the people who gave testimonials that did lose money, but you focused on one who is a bad person, apparently. That's fair enough. Yeah, CoffeeZilla probably shouldn't have had him in the testimonials. And then the egg hatching thing. I believe there was evidence about the egg hatching not being functional fully when the game launched. And I think in CoffeeZilla's video, he did say, like, they did eventually try and get that working, but it's still not in a fully functional state. But those are, like, the only points. And then this call being illegally recorded, which apparently is not illegal in Texas. And then he confirms what CoffeeZilla confirmed about Jake stealing, Eddie stealing, and Jeff and Logan never selling. He confirmed that. So CoffeeZilla was right. I think that was it, right? There wasn't anything else. Yeah. And then it was just about him, like, saying, we're working our ass off. It's going to come out. It's not a scam. Without providing any information on what exactly they're going to do differently. You're going to hire more criminals? There's a Prime Fabi and Descending in Tier 1 Turtle. The resub Log, Grimes, Forox, and Philip. It's just scammers scamming scammers. Yeah. That's exactly what it was internally. Again, another thing he didn't address was all of the group chats that are now public. He didn't deny them either. He just legitimately didn't even bother talking about it. Or any of their internal memos about market manipulation. There's a Tier 1 Deuce and Prime's Splurks. It's such a bad video. I don't think it's like great or anything. It doesn't prove that he's not scamming, or CryptoZoo isn't a scam, but it's not nearly as bad as I expected. It isn't as bad as I thought it would be. But he doesn't do a great job of defending that this is a legitimate project. He's a Tier 1 base. It's enough for his fans who didn't watch the coffee video, though. Yeah, it is going to be enough for the fans, and it's going to be enough for the CryptoZoo backers who are still holding on to that, like, false hope, but... Here, just going through Twitter takes real quick. This seems kind of representative of most of the hive mind on it, so I'm just going to read it. Though this is just one person's opinion, kind of echoed in different ways. Logan and his team need to be held accountable for picking horrible partners, but to say he scammed when he didn't sell is insane. Just because he didn't sell doesn't mean that it wasn't a scam. Tons and tons of people lost money, and his internal partners did sell, making millions. Who's to say Logan Paul wouldn't have sold if it kept going? Plus, all of the group chat that is now public seems to have confirmed that this whole thing was just all about making as much money as possible and as quickly as possible on a bad idea. Still a scam. Just because it doesn't sell doesn't mean it's not a scam. He's a tier 1, 5 Stark in the Prime, Breck, Orgs in the resub, Gizzy, Derp, and Reese. You 100% was going to sell if it didn't happen. Yeah, but that's just speculation. I don't know. I don't know if he would have sold. I will say the reason, one thing that definitely contributed to not selling is after Jake sold and made $6 million, the price, right in the shitter. So obviously he wasn't going to sell too. And then Eddie sold $1.7 million and then deeper into the shitter. So clearly he wasn't going to be selling regardless. I don't know if his intention was to sell, but it seems like the intention with the project, based on all of the group chats, was to make as much money off the audience as he could for the whole team. Didn't he make money from the egg sales? That I still don't really know. Even in CoffeeZilla, I was scratching my head because I don't know. I don't think you can say for sure whether or not he himself pocketed money off of the egg sales. That, I think, is still just kind of tough to say for certain. There's a resub Frog in Prime, Aaron and the resub Hobo. Watch the CoffeeZilla video now. It's a lot different with this context. What the fuck? He didn't context? What are you talking about? I guess in this one part where this guy giving his testimonial is untrustworthy, but other than that, it doesn't change the lens. The evidence is still there. He didn't tackle any of the evidence other than saying that one of them was unethically and illegally gathered through that recorded phone call. And that's really about it. Or that Z that he was talking to was actually a criminal that Logan hired. Like, it doesn't change the lens. He's a give subs Zemify and the resub Kube in the Prime space. How the fuck is Logan still sticking with Jeff? That I don't know. Jeff just sounds like an actually observable stupid man. Like an actual stupid idiot. I don't know why he keeps Jeff around. I don't. I really don't. I actually think Logan had no idea who was being hired. It was all Jeff, but Logan's gonna still take the fall for it because he just let Jeff run rampant like a dog off the leash. Hired 2 criminals, and then those criminals hired a criminal. So then eventually they hired all 3 fucking criminals. Like, I don't know why he keeps him around. Makes no sense to me. He didn't say how it was a scam. I actually think a lot of children have too much easy access to the internet. What do you mean, explain how it was a scam? Like, what do you mean? The method of scamming was gathering as much money from people, talking about how fun this game is and how you can play to earn money on this game. And then the game comes out. The game isn't in a functional state for a while. Maybe it is now, perhaps. Logan seems to insinuate that it is functional. But regardless, it is worth nothing, meaning you did not play for a while, and now when you do play, you don't earn. So you just lose money. However, his team made, in total, $7.7 million off of selling. It's called Pump and Dump. Now, Logan and Jeff didn't sell. That is true. That didn't happen. But just because they didn't sell doesn't mean it wasn't a scam. There is a group chat where they were talking about money-making ways through the crypto space and copying a certain project that was very lucrative, and the entire conversation was always about making money off of Logan's audience. They then even get into market manipulation tactics, talking about what's an acceptable amount to sell on any given day to not influence price too much. It's a scam. That is a scam. I don't know why I needed to break it down into the Cliff Notes for you. I don't see why that was necessary. But I hope we're all on the same page now. Now, Logan Paul is denying that this was ever the case. So he's not like apologizing to all of the people that lost money or anything. He's saying that with this guy stealing the code, it was a huge setback and there's just been so much going on behind the scenes, and then Jake tanking it and then Eddie tanking it. It's just been hard to rebuild, but he's been working super hard to bring it back. But he still is missing the big problem. Nothing was communicated to the buyers. They have been left in the dark for over a year. Logan Paul has made 2 Discord messages in a year. One of them was yo, and the other was I'm sober, shake my head. He made a 3rd Discord message 2 days ago, right before posting this video. There's nothing being conveyed to all of those people that lost a ton of money. So even if it's not, even if Logan Paul never thought it was a scam, there were very real victims that lost very real money on this project, all because of him. There's a tier 1 Harvey, and there is some Alter, Kyrix, and Leonard. Coffee tweeted again. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not like information or anything, it's just another point. I'm pretty sure had CoffeeZilla never made the video on CryptoZoo, he would have preferred to just die a quiet death. Logan would have never addressed it again. That's my theory as well. But now, since there's so much pressure on it, he feels obligated to try and deliver on the initial promises, which I don't see happening, but we'll see. That's another point he didn't talk about. That is true. There's still a wallet that holds a ton of coins that half was supposed to be donated. Him saying he hasn't sold is comedy, given that the wallet will absolutely go into his pocket. But it hasn't yet. But he didn't address what happened to all the donations. Because there were supposed to be donations made. Didn't talk about that. There's a resub. Pete, Harry, Rental, Siso, Wagi in the Prime, Freck, and Bits don't know. It's just tackling a bigger point anymore. He doesn't actually deliver anything on like the evidence that was submitted. Oh, goddamn. Thank you for the 20 gift sub system overload. Appreciate the generosity. Thanks to the Prime Sarcasm and the resub with Mia. Damn, I'd like to see the dislike ratio. Yeah, I don't have the add-on on, but I know it has more dislikes than likes. So what did Coffee do wrong? Yeah, we can do the after-action quick report. So Logan doesn't tackle any of his like evidence-backed claims in the investigation. Those don't really get tackled, but he does point out 2 things that CoffeeZilla, fair enough, did get wrong, I suppose. One of them, again, I think is a very minor one, with one of the victims of CryptoZoo scam being a scammer himself. This is a guy that shouldn't have been in the testimonials, given his past. That's a fair thing to point out. This guy's untrustworthy. Fair enough. And then the other one was... Where is it? Where's he talking about it? This. The illegally recorded conversation with his manager. Apparently not illegal in Texas, which is where CoffeeZilla's at, but he talks about how shady it was to record this conversation without Jeff's permission. Those are really the only two things he points out that are like, okay, I mean, that's fair enough, yeah. I could see why those two things would be inappropriate, but it doesn't disprove any of the overall evidence that was submitted from CoffeeZilla. It's legal, though. It is legal in Texas, but it is illegal most places. So I could see why he'd point that out as inappropriate behavior and unprofessional. I think that's a fair criticism to have. I'm not going to get mad at Logan for that or cherry pick it as like, but it's legal here. I get it, but I also think it's still very valuable evidence regardless. I think when it comes to a fucking crime, it should be fair game to have a recorded confession, like a recorded piece of evidence, even without that person's permission. But that's not what the law says in most places. It's illegal in most states, is it? I'm pretty sure it's illegal in Florida. It is illegal to record or intercept a telephone conversation in Florida. So maybe I'm just biased because it's illegal here. Maybe it's legal in more places than I think it is. Did I take down all the clip channels? No, all of the channels that re-upload my stream content are fighting each other and actually taking each other out. It's getting bad. I talked about this like a week ago. They are filing strikes on each other all over the place on my stream content. So the people that re-upload it, they keep for some reason filing takedown notices on other competing re-upload channels. It's fucking all-out war. Matt and I were talking about it the other day. Like, at this point, we were going to have to defend all of the re-upload channels because now they keep going to Matt. So we'll see about that. Ideally, it all just goes to the second channel, like the one that we actually own. But that's never going to happen, and we're not stupid. But Jesus Christ, it's getting so bad-mannered out there. No, I mean, everything they post goes on, like, the official channel that we have as well. It's just they're first because they're overseas, so they literally post it minutes after it happens. There's a Prime Mickey, Nordy, and the resub Ronnie in Texas, and Scar, and Alex, and the Prime Tactical. And give sub basic. And the resub Duke. It's only illegal in 11 states. Really? And Florida happens to be one of them? That's interesting. I thought it was more common. There's a Prime Snoopy and the resub Brave. Do you think Logan will actually follow through with his court thing? Yes. I think 100% Logan Paul will follow through with the court thing. He has significantly more money than CoffeeZilla. He doesn't even need to win in court. He just needs to bully him. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. 100%. Doesn't Texas have strong anti-slap laws? You gotta stop asking me about Texas law, man. I don't know. I don't know Texas law. I only know Florida law. I have no clue. Shame no one can speak out against these type of people or they get sued. Yeah, but if history's taught us anything, they never win the lawsuit. There's already tons of examples of that on YouTube from YouTubers getting upset at each other and suing. Never really works out. But Logan Paul is in a different ballpark. He's in a whole different league with the amount of money he has. So maybe. Thanks at 5 gift subs Slasher. Appreciate that. And the resub Tempest and the bits Co-Fire. I already watched the Meat Canyon video. I was gonna pull up like Meat Canyon clips that I thought would mirror this. I really thought this was gonna be much worse. But yeah, I of course already watched this. Watched it yesterday. It's not good. Again, it's better than I thought though. Like 100% I expected him to come in here very similar to the severe lapse in judgment. I didn't think he was going to try and fight because I think that's a losing battle. But the fact he tried to fight was surprising. And for a lot of people, he cleared himself somehow. Like I said, it looks like from early tweets here discussing this, a lot of his younger fan base is like, wow, Logan W. Even though he didn't tackle any of CoffeeZilla's like specific evidence-backed claims and proof, he still did enough to convince them that it was never supposed to be a scam. He's a prime male and they give sub cereal. I don't even know how I'd sum it up, Jay. It's a quick one though. It's only a 7-minute response. They didn't read the fucking leaked text. Well, they didn't watch his videos. I'm assuming the people that are like, damn, Logan W. didn't actually watch the investigation. Because he doesn't address any of the real meaty claims and evidence. Yeah, I think it was just the character attacks on CoffeeZilla that were enough to make people think Logan Paul's being honest and CryptoZoo's not a scam. I think that's probably what it is, which was a very smart play from Logan. Attacking his credibility, despite not providing evidence. He just calls him a gossip channel, but doesn't back it up. He says that he's getting very real errors in his modern content, but then provides no evidence. And then goes into his video. But he also doesn't disprove any of CoffeeZilla's claims other than pointing out this guy's untrustworthy from the testimonial section and the eggs may have worked at one point. And also this phone call that he gathered, which it is a good piece of like, here's what's going on, was gathered unprofessionally. That's it. Everything else is just, CoffeeZilla's bad. We are fraud. And it worked. Why do you think Coffee declined Logan's invite to the podcast? Because you got invited right before Christmas. And then again right before New Year's. Who's going to want to fucking fly to LA for that on his podcast? Of course he's not doing that. CoffeeZilla also reached out saying, hey, let's just do it over a video call. Why did Logan decline a video call, which is significantly easier and more convenient? Do I think Steve will respond? So I could try and intimidate him. There's plenty of reasons not to go on Logan's podcast to talk about it. I think the obvious one, Logan completely controls what actually makes it into the final cut. Like, there's nothing to be gained there. Why not just do it over a video call on a stream? Literally anything. CoffeeZilla offered just a full video voice call so they can talk about it, which is very convenient for both parties. Would have been super simple, but Logan didn't accept that. He only wants CoffeeZilla in person on his podcast that he controls the flow of information. as opposed to just doing a neutral fucking video call about it. Things you said Mad Dog and Poop. Bits co-fire. Logan Paul more Jesus Christ, yikes. He said that Coffee tried to get law enforcement but was denied because he didn't get found. Oh, you're talking about early on where he makes this claim about he was trying to work with local law enforcement but then was apparently not anchored to truth or speculative. I don't know the source on that. I'll take his word for it because that does sound accurate. Usually law enforcement's not going to work with an outside party for many reasons. It's the reason why pedophile vigilantes are actually counterproductive for getting pedophiles thrown in jail. The investigations are usually just thrown out. Like, there's very specific protocol that has to be followed when it comes to an actual law enforcement investigation. So I don't not believe this. You're incorrect, by the way. What about the pedophile vigilantes? Because that is a legitimately provable, once again, fact. Why do people just say that? Why do people just say things like that? Things are resub co-fire and glizzy. Thanks to the bits, Draco. Law enforcement works with outside parties all the time, and I have more experience than you in that regards. Well, you spelled experience completely wrong, so I immediately doubt it. But, again, they work with outside agencies. They work with outside, like, actually sanctioned investigations. Why do you think EDP didn't get arrested? Why do you think any type of YouTuber vigilante pedophile hunter never actually gets the pedophile thrown in jail? Because they can't use those investigations. Why do you think To Catch a Predator in the first season the pedophiles weren't arrested? Because they weren't working directly with law enforcement when to conduct the investigations. That you can look that up yourself. Look up the reason why To Catch a Predator didn't have the pedophiles get arrested in the season 1. Pedophiles walked away with just a stern talking to. You can just look up the facts yourself. It's that easy. The reason I learned is because when we were going through To Catch a Predator, I asked, why aren't these pedophiles getting arrested? And then I learned the reason is because they can't use investigations like that aren't done in collaboration with local law enforcement. CoffeeZilla's investigations aren't done in collaboration with local law enforcement. Thus, they're not going to be used most likely. Now, I'm not saying it never happens. I'm sure if it's like a really, really watertight investigation, I'm sure authorities will pick from it. I'm sure that happens from time to time. But that is very rare and not the norm. Thanks the resub yesterday. Spaghetti, Joey, Range, and Tier 1's win. And the resub Pity. Oh, it's been a lot of fun, Salty, yeah. Been really enjoying it. They can investigate after the expose. That is true. They can. If the law enforcement deems the investigation is substantiated enough, they can investigate it. But it's usually just after the fact, like, this has put it on our radar. We're going to need to investigate now. That is true. You are correct there. Logan Paul didn't even mention Dink Doink. Like, yes, I know. We all know Logan Paul has had some very shady shit, but this was focused on CryptoZoo, and he didn't address the evidence-backed, all of the evidence-backed claims from CoffeeZilla. He focused on just a couple of nitpicks, really, and then the broader picture of I didn't sell, and CryptoZoo's not supposed to be a scam, and I'm committed to making it real and work and fixing it. There's a resub Austin and Club in Rook. He just posted the CryptoZoo's Twitter for the first time in a year. Yeah, the timing is really weird. That is so odd that now all of a sudden he's all in on CryptoZoo despite radio silence for a year. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. There's a tier 1 Hubat and tier 1 Kai, and the resub Weevil, Calvert, and the Prime Cough. And the Prime Drastic. And the Prime Laser. He was after CoffeeZilla instead of defending himself. I know, and I said that's what was actually unexpectedly kind of smart from him. Instead of actually going to the hard subjects that had real evidence, he went for the attacks on CoffeeZilla's credibility and character, which was enough to win over a lot of the audience that isn't super familiar with it or is very young. That was like an actual smart play, but it doesn't prove any level of innocence whatsoever. Thanks to the resub, Miguel. Isn't this like the 100th part of drama heat Logan's been in? Yeah. It is. I actually think of a lot of it is just due to him not caring. He just tells Jeff anything that makes me money and he signs off on it. Like, that's what it feels like. Thanks for resub, Devo. Bro ain't addressing Dink Doink. No matter what happens, he will not address Dink Doink, I don't think. That'd be a bigger shock than anything if he actually even talked about Dink Doink. I don't think that's a word that'll ever leave his lips again. The bits. Oh my god, thank you the 10k bits strawberry. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, thank you for the fat drop and Happy New Year. Hope your New Year's off to a good start. Thanks for resub Dragon and Padre. Thanks to the Prime, Charlie. Didn't he make a Dink Doink song? Pretty sure he made Dink Doink. Wasn't it based off of his drawings? I'm going off the old memory banks there, but I'm pretty sure he was part of the founding. I don't remember if it was his drawings or if he made it or anything like that, though. And something on the the deep level, though. Is that what we watched last night, Crown? I don't remember which 40k thing we watched. It's 26k likes to 32k dislikes. See, it's closer than I thought. Like I said, divisive. It was smart to not attack the evidence because he knew he couldn't. So he went for just some ad hominems. Thanks for resub, Bodhi. Thanks for resub, Geo. You gonna be talking about Logan all night? No, I'm actually gonna go work out and eat here in a little bit, but I had to run upstairs and immediately flip on stream when I saw this get uploaded. I wanted to be here the second this shit hit the papers. So no, I'm actually gonna be taking a break here in just a little bit. Is it Prime Aqua? Once his 12-year-old fans stop liking the video, dislikes will skyrocket. I just don't believe they're 12-year-old fans anymore. After the investigation and the testimonials from his fans that lost money, like a lot of his fans seem to be like somehow young men, which is so weird. Because when I hear Logan Paul or Jake Paul for that matter, I associate it with like Disney Channel fans. I just don't know what adults would watch them. It doesn't compute. So no, I don't even think it's kids. He definitely does have a lot of kids in his audience for sure, but literally everyone on the internet does. That's just the nature of the internet. All kids have access to it all the time. There's a resub, Lidson, and 2 gift subs, Honest. I think it's a Prime Ivyson and Tansy. You gonna make a video about it? Oh, yeah, I'll probably just edit the stream stuff for it. This is still a developing thing, so I'm curious to see where Coffee goes. Because I think this is very easy for CoffeeZilla to respond to. Like, I don't see how Coffee doesn't take a W from this because Logan ducked everything involving evidence. Like, he didn't address anything substantial. It is all just, once again, kind of character assassination. So it's really only good for convincing people that he's passionate about CryptoZoo and it wasn't supposed to be a scam. What's this? This is about... Alright, I'm curious what Hassan said on this one. I feel like there's just no other take to have here.
Fled to Switzerland and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other...
Wait, not a single person thinks that any of the people involved in this situation are good people. You hired him, you fucking idiot.
See, exactly.
You
There's only
literally
one
hired... Dog! What is this? He's just like compounding the L's, dude. He's like, this guy that I hired to do scams on my audience, well, that guy's a bad guy. Oh, sick, man. Okay.
I mean, that's... Like I said, there's not a whole lot of takes to have from here because he doesn't attack evidence, and what he does provide... not like the best. It doesn't make him look good. He admits to hiring a fucking criminal. I mean, you can't see that as anything other than like, wow, you're a fucking idiot, and this was clearly shady. Yep. Pretty wacky. I am very surprised that it's only 7 minutes. But it's what he threw together on short notice, I suppose. Thanks to Resub Hatter. Drunken in cause. Oh, sweet. Well, thanks, Owl. I will say this. He seems confident that the dudes he just doxed won't leak anything. You talking about Logan? Because it's really only this guy. I don't think there's anyone else, was there? Yeah, it was just him. The other developer? Oh, if you're talking about Eddie Ibanez, like that wasn't him that really put him on blast. He literally learned Eddie Ibanez was a fraud from Coffee. He didn't want to say it, but that's where he learned the information from. Like in the video, he's like, yeah, it turns out this guy is a con man.
Billionaires, the Mormon Church, the professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me.
And you only learn that because CoffeeZilla did the investigating for you. But this isn't Logan Paul that put Eddie on blast. CoffeeZilla is the one that got all that. Logan just piggybacks it. Just admitted to hiring 2 criminals. It was 3 because Jake the Crypto King is also a criminal. Thanks for resub, Danny and Spidey. You seem pretty biased. I'm so tired of that word losing all meaning. One side had evidence, the other side didn't. It's just that simple. I was very open to hearing how Logan Paul would attack the evidence, like maybe there was holes in it, maybe things are misconstrued or misrepresented, but he didn't. He didn't even address the things with actual substantial evidence. That's the whole thing. The word bias has lost all meaning right now. He fucking discredited the witnesses. He discredited a witness, and that doesn't discredit him from being a victim of the scam, by the way. How many times do I have to say it? This guy, Emilio, can be a scammer himself, have a shady past, and still have been one of the many victims of CryptoZoo. It's not mutually exclusive. But yes, I agree. He should not have been in the testimonials for the victims. In fact, if he wasn't, Logan Paul would only have a single point in this video. Which is, you recorded my manager being a fucking idiot without his permission, and it's illegal somewhere. Yep, he didn't talk about the group text or anything. Like I said, anything that had legitimate, substantial evidence, Logan Paul did not talk about. That is the big problem. Like the Bits Method and Lacune and the resub Finn and Divine.
who supposedly let
Next to the Prime Sloth. You see CoffeeZilla's latest tweet? Yeah, I've been keeping up with his tweets. Did he just make another one just now? Hold on, quick message. He's Prime ripping the resub combat and Yuzi. And the tier 1 Lucas and the resub Tricky. Resub Dinah. Yep, so that's where we're at right now. I'm excited for CoffeeZilla's response. It seems like this should be an easy one. And then I don't know what Logan will do from there. I am very confident he is going to try and come after CoffeeZilla legally. I'm sure he already has. I don't think CoffeeZilla's been served yet, but I have no doubt he will try. He will absolutely go for it. No, I don't think, like I said, I don't think he's going to go for defamation. Well, I guess now, since I learned it's not illegal to record one-party recording conversation in Texas, he probably won't try that. Maybe he will try defamation. Thanks for resub Alex, Peach, and the Prime Ravage. He won't win defamation, though. There would be absolutely no grounds at all for defamation. Plus, as he even mentions, he never made any money off CryptoZoo, allegedly. And he even says he never plans to make any money off CryptoZoo. When it comes to a defamation case, you have to prove damages. What was damaged? A reputational damage, I guess? Kind of a stretch, though, because the reputational damage is from the project failing, not so much CoffeeZilla's video. You would easily be able to argue that the actual reputational hit came from delivering or never delivering a product. I just feel like that's going to be tough. Doesn't he say the product's going to be delivered, though? Yeah, but he never said that until this investigation, by the way. He hadn't talked about it in a year. So he may actually try and make it work for the first time in a year now, but that doesn't seem like it was ever in the cards until CoffeeZilla brought it to light. Is he really trying to sue? Yep, he put his big boy pants on.
honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations, and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, CoffeeZilla, I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as so I'm not going to come on any of your podcasts. If you want to come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Huge. I like how he calls CoffeeZilla's videos an oversimplification when it's 3 parts of a year-long investigation and you release 7 minutes and don't debunk any of his claims. Yeah, he was the one that oversimplified the situation. That's a good point. You're doing this for clout and money, but come on my podcast. No, I won't do a video call on a neutral party. I refuse. You're gonna have to come on my podcast. Bro should have just took the L. If I was Logan Paul's PR guy, I would have told him, they got you. You're caught. The gig is up. You're kaput. You're going to make a video and you're going to say, I was really hoping to bury this. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. I've been struggling to sleep at nights. It keeps me up knowing that my fans, well, they lost money all because of CryptoZoo. And now after CoffeeZilla's put it out there, I now realize what I have to do. I have to refund every single one of the investors that lost money in this project. Bang. The investors get made whole. And you move on. You take a huge financial hit, but at the very least, you can put your head up high moving forward. This is... I don't see him ever delivering on this product. Not because it's a complicated product. In fact, it's the simplest thing in the world. You can hire 2 fucking programmers off Twitter right now who can make a goddamn PNG fuse with another PNG. Easy. But I just feel like he's not going to be able to do it. Since it was designed to just be kind of a scam from the get-go, judging by the text messages that were released. He's a prime screaming, drip in the resub barbecue and carne. Before being done with the topic, there is one more thing I'd like to say, and it's right
If I
here.
can help understand. For years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations, and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience.
So, even before CoffeeZilla made this video, every single one of the investors of CryptoZoo felt like they had been scammed by a fraud named Logan Paul. CoffeeZilla told their story. They are real victims, lost real money on your project, and CoffeeZilla told their story and tried to give an explanation for what happened. This was not CoffeeZilla that started this. Even if one of those victims is shady himself, that doesn't discredit all of the other very real, normal audience members that lost money on your shit. Thanks the Prime Stone. From prime to crime. That's cute. I can already see that on 60 for 60. There's a prime Jotaro and milk. What did he think was going to happen? 100% after Jake the Crypto King pulled 6 mil, after Eddie Ibanez pulled 1.7 mil from CryptoZoo, Logan Paul undoubtedly believed that this could just die a quiet death. Yes, all of the investors would be mad. Yes, they would know that they had just got fucking used by Logan and his platform, but at the end of the day, that's small fish. He never believed that that would trickle over into a big deal, a big PR disaster. I have no doubt he truly believed this could just be brushed under the rug over time and people would forget. But that didn't happen. There is a reason he hasn't mentioned CryptoZoo in a year. There is a reason he hasn't talked in the Discord in a year until this Moistcr1tikal until this video. I think the idea was pretty clear with what he hoped would happen. Jake did nothing wrong. He was screwed over. There is no such thing as a Crypto King meat writer. There's no way I just read that. That has got to be a bot. No shot. That man is a serial scammer. Do I feel bad for Logan Paul and his team getting used by Jake? No. It's scammers scamming scammers. But Jake, the Crypto King, is legitimately one of the slimiest men the internet's ever had. He bounces from Pokemon scams right into NFT scams, CryptoZoo. Like, the guy sucks. But at least in this case, he scammed scammers for the most part. But that also did have the impact on normal, real people who also lost money. So fuck him. He's not some Robin Hood who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. He stole from the rich and the poor and kept it for himself. Is resub spoken? Should KSI get pushed back if he continues to work with Logan? No. I don't agree with that stance. I've seen that a lot with people attacking KSI because KSI and Logan Paul do Prime together. I don't see why this needs to reflect poorly on Prime or KSI. I do think Logan should gracefully step away from Prime, like as like one of the faces of Prime. I think that would be in good taste, but I don't think this should reflect poorly on KSI. Not for this. He's not involved in this whatsoever. That just doesn't make any sense. That's like people blaming, oh my god, I can't remember his name. But like people blaming the person who made the hit on Damar Hamlin last night. It doesn't make sense. T. Higgins, thank you. Yeah. KSI said he's going to have to wait to see if it's true. Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt he's going to have a very serious conversation with the board about what to do going forward. But I don't see why people would be upset at KSI. Like, you can criticize him for working with Logan Paul, I suppose. Like, Logan Paul's a douchebag. Why work with him? But to blame him for, like, look at what Logan Paul did. He's a scammer, and you've enabled the scammer. I disagree. I just don't see it. I really disagree with that.